NTA News. First with the news, authentic and reliable.
Thank you for staying tuned. Investigation to unravel the root cause of the fire that razed part of the international headquarters of Love World Incorporated, also known as Christ Embassy, is still ongoing, with relevant government agencies already assessing the situation. Joel Popola reports that palpable anxiety of Sunday has now paved way for calm.
It is the first fire incident at the international headquarters of Christ Embassy, but it is one that will linger on in the minds of residents and members of the church in view of the magnitude of the inferno. This heavily guarded structure was hitherto an architectural masterpiece with an appealing aesthetics inside and outside, but the fire incident has changed the narrative. At the time of filing this report, the smoke from the inferno of Sunday is still visible, an indication of the severity of the tragedy. Lagos State Emergency Management Agency LASEMA and other emergency responders are still taking proactive steps to guarantee round-the-clock monitoring of the distressed building. Although journalists were denied access to the building, but the visuals, even from here, succinctly captures the extent of the massive devastation caused by the inferno. Officials of the Lagos State Building Control Agency LABSCA are already carrying out integrity tests on the building to ascertain the extent of damage and determine the fate of the building. The incident is one of the numerous cases of fire incidents recorded this year, a situation respondents say requires more proactive measures.
The religious houses should also ensure and look into the safety of their buildings in case of anything that can bring about fire.
They should try to check the environment, the electricity, because most of the time they will say it's electrical fault. So they always check, maybe when they are going out, they switch off the electricity. Although there is no official report on the cause of the incident from the church and other emergency responders, but regardless of the outcome of the integrity test, a statement attributed to the President Love World Incorporated, Pastor Chris Oyakilome, indicates a new structure will be constructed to replace the building razed by fire. In Lagos, Joel Popola, NTA News.
The need for Nigeria to invest more in local production rather than importation, as well as solve electricity challenges, has been emphasized on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Economic experts are of the opinion that this will help bring down and control the rise in inflation in the country. Lydia Sampson reports.
Are on the same page that the inflation rate is increasingly biting hard, making it difficult for most Nigerians to cope. They also agree that though solutions abound in country, state government must holistically play their roles.
For local initiative, I will hang it on three things. One is our monetary policies, trade policies. Then the last one is, what are the state governors doing about inflation? Most of us are concentrated on federal government, particularly because federal government controls central bank, which use monetary policies to tighten money in circulation as a process of ensuring that they also fight inflation.
There are two things that we bring that would rattle your mind. One is the rural inflation at 31%, and then the urban inflation at again 31%. So that tells you two things. One, there is no activity, in the village or in the rural areas where you have all our lands.
The guest suggested development of new economic corridors, top-bottom approach to ensure policies are not hijacked for political favoritism, but the good of all.
Production will take place, did not take place because of issues of security. Some of these have impact and effect. But I think largely, first it was global, then locally we implemented so many policies, and some of these policies now came to manifest in this what we are seeing today. Government need to invest heavily, to stock our reserves so that they will now use that anytime there is need.
Monetary policy, why are we hiking MPR to attract investment when we know the economic environment is secured? We halt it because we are increasing cost of borrowing and you are making people to be out of job. So there is need for the central bank to not just look at the monetary policy to controlling inflation, but they should understand that the principal prime duty of the bank is to make an economic stable environment where prices are stable.
Discussing what can be conquered, they noted, is not enough, stressing that taking visible, viable actions across sectors to change the narrative is sacrosanct. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
In other news, the organized labor says it is expecting President Bola Tinubu to still consult with different parties that made up the tribe. Joseph Ajaro revealed this when a delegation from the Kogi state government visited the Labour House to clarify some labor issues in the state.
To do it, I think that's the problem there, so that people can look at it. Unless he wants to